What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know I mentioned that the next video for you guys is going to be me dropping my K20 back into my right-hand drive wagon, but I was today years old when I realized that the next video for you guys, it's literally dropping on New Year's. So with that being said, happy New Year's to you guys, man. I hope you guys got to spend it with your friends and family. You guys had a great time and you guys were responsible. Even though right now, today, it's Christmas. Usually when we get to the end of the year or coming into the New Year's, we do a yearly end recap. A recap video is pretty much me just talking about all the things that have went down this year, 2024 in this case. And if you guys remember, I made a year-end recap for 2023, kind of talking about what's going to be going down in 2024. I think I was kind of on track, even though I sidetracked it a lot. But let me explain. Now, coming into 2024, I mentioned that I wanted to focus mainly on my cars that are personally mine. That means no customers, no friends, no project fund cars, none of that. I really just wanted to focus on my cars. Now, when I came into this year, I did have Project Blueberry with me, my K24 turbo hatch, and I had the green CRX that had the fully built LSV tech in it. Now, in order for me to get started on the new build for the year, which was my blue EF sedan, I needed to get rid of Project Blueberry and the green CRX. So I ended up selling Project Blueberry. I was kind of sad about it, but honestly, it needed to go. It was a fun car, but it needed to go. It's also very sad to say that when I did sell the car, a short time after, the new owner had the car completely taken apart. And then I saw it on Facebook with a D16 Z6 back up for sale. I guess I knew what the plan was, and it's kind of sad to see a car I put together taken apart like that. But at the end of the day, Project Blueberry was still a running, driving car. And because it was sold and no longer under my possession, there was nothing I can do about it. Now, the green CRX, I sold it to a buddy of mine, and you guys probably see him on the channel a couple of times now. The homie's name is Evan. He has a white EF hatchback that had a ceiling cam in it. So he bought my green CRX to pull the built LSV tech out of it to put it into his car. And then he took the ceiling cam, put it into the green CRX, and resold that. I actually saw that green CRX in a parking lot of Pick and Pull one time, and it's good to know that it's still driving around. Now, the LSV tech made about 200 horsepower. He threw in his hatchback, and let me tell you guys, he went and thrashed that motor on the track. He literally drove it like he stole it. The homie had an incredible time with that engine, man, and he was like, dude, night and day difference going from a single to a B and being able to pass up supercars on these turns. Really happy to know that somebody got to use and abuse that motor, because I didn't really do too much with it. I built it, and then I sold it. Now, the cars that I needed to focus on for 2024 was my KRX, my blue EF sedan that I had to entirely build, revamp my right-hand drive wagon, resurface the H2B CRX and finish it up, and then start diving into my right-hand drive JDM EF2. If you guys don't know what a JDM EF2 is, it's pretty much another EF sedan from overseas. Now, the KRX didn't really need a lot of work. It's literally my most reliable turnkey car. I can take it anywhere right now at this instant. But there are some maintenance stuff that I needed to do, you know, kind of once over the fluid, change the oil and everything in it. I swapped the tires a couple of times. I tweaked some of the suspension. I went back to the alignment rack, cleaned the interior up, changed the interior up a little bit as well too. And it wasn't much. It wasn't much. I just did all that, parked it, and that was that. Now that I sold Project Blueberry and the green CRX, that brought in the funds for me to start building my blue EF sedan, and I had a deadline for it. I literally had like 4 months to get this car ready to bring it down to Lake Elsinore for the Honda meet, because I'm going to be displaying some new product from S1 Built at their booth. So literally, I had to get cracking on that car like ASAP. The EF sedan was sitting on the driveway on 4 jack stands with no engine, no interior, no suspension, no exhaust, no all-wheel drive system. It was a lot to do in that short span of time, but we were able to get it done. Because if you guys were at Lake Elsinore, you guys probably saw my car there. But man, it was such a process to build the car. So when I finally got cracking on the car and started pushing to get this car done, it was very unfortunate that when I took it to the dyno, the motor threw a rod on a pull. And till this day, I still don't know why it threw a rod. But when it threw a rod, my homie Stefan, he towed back to my house the next day. That same day, I yanked the motor out of the car. Now, we're already on a setback, right? Because I now got to redo everything again, right? So I pulled the stock K out of it. I put a fully built K20 in there. Shout out to the homie Chris Built for getting that done in time. We put the built motor in the car. We wrapped the entire car, and we were able to get it done. Unfortunately, didn't get it tuned. But again, shout out to the homie Stefan, because he actually trailered me down to SoCal to make it to the show. So we made it to the show. We displayed the car. We displayed S1's new product, which is the billet all-wheel drive diff mount for the EF chassis specific. If you guys want to go all-wheel drive, be sure to click the link in the description below. Use discount code YSTAT to save 10% off. And let me tell you guys, once you go all-wheel drive, you don't go back. Went down to SoCal, had an incredible time, and we finally brought it back up, threw it on the dyno, and the car made 600 horsepower. 600.17 on the dot. And the car felt like a monster. After the car got dynoed, I took it down to Bakersfield to go race at Famaso, and unfortunately the car ran through a couple of hiccups, maybe a driver's mod, I don't know, right? But we ended our day early there at the track, and on my way home, unfortunately, I spun the bearing in the motor, and I don't know why. So shout out to Jamie for towing me back up, right? Brought it back home, and again, I didn't waste any time. I got right to it. I put the freaking third motor in the car, kept it as simple as possible, kept it on pump gas, kept it very moderate and conservative. Shout out to Gaith, my tuner from Red Zone Antioch, and he did an incredible job. The car now is currently sitting out there, ready to rock and roll whenever I want to drive it. And it is fun as heck to drive. As far as the built motor goes, I did return it back to Chris Built, and he is right now, as we speak, is rebuilding that motor for me. And when it comes back, I'm telling you guys, we're gonna be shooting for a ton more horsepower. Now, with the unfortunate event of 2 engines going out in my sedan, it kind of set me back on the time frame a lot, because as mentioned, I wanted to focus on my cars, and you know, I'm literally talking about every car that's in my fleet is gonna get worked on. So KRX out of the way, I got my sedan up and going, and in the process of putting the built motor into my sedan, I took some parts out of the wagon to help utilize in the sedan to make power. I took my wagon apart to, you know, take the parts off of it, and it ended up sitting longer than it was supposed to. I took the clutch out of the car, I took the turbo kit out of the car, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy some new stuff for it. So I was supposed to put the exotic clutch back in, which I did, and then I was supposed to build a new turbo kit, which I did, but I yanked the motor out to clean it up. And because I cleaned the motor up, I wanted to clean the engine bay up. And knowing that cleaning the engine bay up and respraying it is gonna take a lot of time, I put it on the burner. That was my fault. So now that the wagon was on the burner, the sedan was done, I finally moved the H2B CRX back to the driveway. And let me tell you guys right now, I need you guys to like chillax on that car a little bit, okay? I'm building this car on my terms, my time, my money for the most part, and I've held on it for so long because there was just a lot of things that bothered me with it. My mind wasn't straight when I built the H2B CRX the first year. That was the year that my dad passed away. So I let it sit for a long time because I wasn't ready to work on it again. And when I finally started working on it again, I just had to backtrack too much. And then obviously in the last 2 or 3 years now that I've had the H2B CRX, I've had a lot of cars in between. You guys gotta understand, my bread and butter is working on cars. So if I gotta make my money and put the other projects on the burner, I'm gonna have to do that, right? So the H2B CRX ended up sitting a lot longer, guilty as charged. It sat way too long. And 2024, I was like, you know what? We really need to get going on this car. So now that the KRX is out of the way, the sedan is out of the way, the wagon's on the burner, the H2B CRX made an appearance back on the driveway so I can start buttoning up that car. And if you guys haven't seen the last couple of videos of us buttoning up this car, I don't know why I looked over there. It's not even here anymore, but we buttoned up the H2B CRX. We stuffed it in storage. We put a brand new car cover over it. Shout out to FF Motion and Avant Road Pro covers. And the H2B CRX is now protected, safe in the storage unit until we find a new home for it. And I've seen the comments. The H2B CRX is not for sale, okay, guys? It's still going to one of you lucky winners. Trust the process, guys. The H2B CRX is going to get going soon. I'm talking about like maybe mid-January this year, 2025, and I promise you guys, the car is gonna leave my possession soon. And to be truthful with you guys, I need the H2B CRX more gone than you guys know. Anywho, now that the H2B CRX is put away, the car that was in the storage unit is now finally on the driveway. My JDM EF2. The JDM EF2, I had a plan of like at least going into the New Year's to be about 40-50% done. But because of a lot of the mishaps with the sedan, the wagon being on the burner, and now that the H2B CRX is in a storage unit, I've been focusing on trying to put my wagon back together. So I haven't really put too much focus on the JDM EF2 that's currently here on the driveway under the covers. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. If you guys were here from the beginning of January to December of 2024, you guys probably saw that I have been working a lot on my brother's brown supercharged wagon, my brother's blue B20 VTEC wagon, some of my friends' cars, my neighbors' cars. And again, a lot of that stuff takes a lot of time, and it kept pushing me back. But, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. Sometimes I just kind of roll with the punches, and that is what it is. You guys right now watching this is already in the new year. I still got a couple more days before the New Year's, which means I'm going to get cracking on the wagon. I want to get everything that's in the garage that belongs to the wagon into the wagon before New Year's. I know it sounds weird to be jumping around on the timeline here, but bear with me, guys. So as I mentioned earlier, we're kind of on track but off track, right? So there is no more timeline for anything for me, because at the end of the day, most of the cars are done. The wagon is almost done, and then we can get cracking on the EF2, which I think now is going to be more so the 2025 build, even though it's not going to take me long to build it at all, because I have majority of the stuff to put it into the car. It's just a matter of doing the doing. The wagon is my main focus right now, and then it's going to be the JDM EF2, and I promised myself that coming into 2025, we're going to try to steer away from the EF chassis a little bit and do more of the golden era cars. And I'm talking about DCs, EGs, EKs, DAs. If you guys want to stick around and see all that, be sure to hit the subscribe button like right now. Now, aside from all the car stuff, guys, myself, I've been okay. Man. I've been having a lot of like ups and downs throughout this year, you know, a lot of emotional roller coasters and stuff, because we're all humans, right? And I've just been trying to manifest a lot of things. I've been trying to keep my mind on the positive side of things. And you know what, man, being able to hang out with some of my friends like in SoCal up here, my boys that slide through sometimes, that really is like uplifting my spirit for a lot of things. And we're definitely trying to keep this train in motion. Now, as far as YouTube goes, it's been doing okay for me this year, but if I'm being honest, this back half of the year hasn't been doing so well for me. And if you're a content creator yourself here on YouTube, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. It has been a weird fluctuation lately, and all I'm going to say is everything's in the gray. Everything's in the gray, but I have high hopes, and I'm keeping that positive mindset and praying for better days and better growth coming into 2025. So you guys watching the videos, leaving a thumbs up, all of that helps me out more than you guys know, and I truly do appreciate it, man. I appreciate those who just came on board. I appreciate those who are OGs to the channel, because without your guys' support, I wouldn't be doing this today. Anyways, enough with the jibber jabber, guys. I know I told y'all in the last video that the next one is going to be me putting the K20 back into the wagon, and now after working on the wagon off camera a little bit, I think the engine bay is ready to be reunited with the K20. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get to it. All right, guys, we have the engine finally installed back into the wagon's engine bay, and I'm very stoked because I miss this sight right here. I really do. But we ran into a few issues. Let me show you guys. I read a comment that said, oh, the power steering line is not going to interfere with the alternator and stuff back here, and I was like, I'm not sure. So when I slid it in, I realized right off the bat it hits the power steering lines, and I had to remove them out of the way. So I'm gonna have to figure out a different line setup or reroute it somehow and make it still work. That I misjudged it for some reason, but power steering line had to come off. Back here, a couple of issues. The bungs for my catch can is 90 degree, and coming off the valve cover is going to interfere with the brake master right off the bat. It's going to hit the hard line, and this one probably would clear, but this one is not. So I'm probably going to redo another valve cover, relocate the bungs, so that way I don't have to do a bunch of cap off or run one here, run one a different area. That needs to be addressed. The other issue is my downpipe lands somewhere between runners number 2 and 3 in the middle, and from the cylinder head to the end of the downpipe is 7 inches, and 7 inches is literally from the flange to my clutch master. So my downpipe may possibly interfere with this, and I'm going to have to redesign the downpipe, which is not a big deal, but it's like stepping 10 steps back. Imagine if I ran a DA brake booster, which kicks out the master further. I would interfere with the VTEC solenoid / valve cover like I mentioned, and lucky I ran the Civic one and brought it back to give me enough space, right? The engine mounts are solid enough that I'm not worried too much about engine rocking backward under torque to come in contact with the brake master, but I guess we'll figure all of that out when the car is up and going. Aside from all of those, everything kind of went in pretty smoothly, and I'm happy. I'm happy to finally have this engine back in the car and my space back in the garage. Look at all that space. I mean, it's still messy, but we have one less engine in the garage. It sucks that I'm gonna have to redo a bunch of things under the hood of the wagon, but honestly, not a big deal. At the end of the day, I'm very stoked to have the wagon's motor back in, and everything that belongs to the wagon here in the garage is gonna get installed probably tomorrow for me, and I'm probably gonna do like an ASMR video for you guys, just kind of take you along the ride of reassembling my wagon after, you know, restoring the engine bay and the engine itself. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I really wanted to get everything back into the car because I want to start my garage renovations. I've been buying a couple things here and there that has just kind of been sitting in the background for when we clear up this space right here, then we can start tearing the racks and everything out to kind of reorganize everything, kind of like what I did last year as well too. So because it's going to take me a couple of days, if not a week or two, to redo my garage, I might be throwing out a bunch of like throwback videos from early on in the channel that a lot of people has never seen, because you know the channel was just starting off and I threw a bunch of like random young static days type stuff. So you guys might be seeing some of those. I do got a bunch of videos of Mario with his K24 Turbo EK ride-alongs. I might throw that out some, but as far as this video goes, I'm just giving you guys a heads up right now. I want to say thank you to everybody who has supported the channel thus far, and I hope you guys are ready for the 2025 adventure. Anyways guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for this video. Welcome to 2025. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and if you guys want to stick around for a whole bunch of good stuff that's going to be happening here real soon, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Oh, I am so happy. I am so happy we have clearance